This is North Borneo, mostly known as Sabah. It has a 60-year-old dispute over its sovereignty, which was recently ignited, creating the previous tension between Kuala Lumpur and Manila. So how and when this all started? Let's find out.
Welcome to the Nothing Box, our favorite place to hang out when we're just busy doing nothing.
Let us take a quick look on the history of the North Borneo dispute. In 1658, Golden Era, the Sultan of Brunei gave the northern and eastern portion of Borneo as a gift or reward to the Sultan of Sulu, as a compensation for helping them resolve the Brunei Civil War. The Sultan of Brunei continued to loosely govern the west coast of Sabah, and many Brunei Malays migrated to this region during this period, although migration has begun as early as 15th century after the Brunei conquest of the territory. But what is Malaysia's reason for claiming Sabah? Kuala Lumpur insists that British North Borneo Company's payments were installment to purchase the territory from Sulu. In that case, sovereignty was transferred to Malaysia when it succeeded British Malaya. In another signal that Kuala Lumpur would not give up on the oil and gas-rich Sabah. In fact, 9 Filipinos are awaiting the death penalty in Malaysian custody, including Hussein Kiram, a cousin of Sultan Midzul. Kiram was arrested in 2013 after leading a failed takeover of Sabah at the command of his father, Jamalul Kiram III, a pretender to the Sulu throne. If you will follow along, the Malaysian Foreign Minister, Datuk Seri Hishamuddin Hussein, said that the country had stopped paying session money to the heir of the Sultan of Sulu, the annual payment of $5,000 through lawyers representing the 9 heirs of the Sulu Sultanate since 2013. Now, why are they paying the rent for the island of Sabah? This is in fulfillment of the High Court of North Borneo Order of 1938, which allowed the petition of 9 Sulu heirs to receive the share between them the annual payment that was previously made to the Sultan of Sulu before he died in 1936. Unfortunately, the Sultan died without leaving any direct heirs. That's why 9 less direct descendants of his were recognized and allowed to inherit the money at that time. Now, a quick geography tour. Sulu is a province of the Philippines in the Sulu Archipelago and part of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Its capital is Jolo on the island of the same name. Now, let's go through the reason of the Philippines' claim over Sabah. Sabah is located at the northeastern tip of Borneo and lies about 500 kilometers from the Philippines. Although Malaysia controls the territory, the Philippines has claimed over Sabah since 1961. The first official attempt of the Philippines to claim Sabah was on June 22nd of 1962, when the Philippines filed a claim over Sabah against the United Kingdom, which has possession of the territory at that time. Therefore, the UK is clearly involved in the dispute because it was responsible for handing Sabah or North Borneo to Malaysia. However, the control over the territory was relinquished to the British, especially to the British North Borneo Company between 1878 and 1946. Under the treaty signed on 4th of January 1878 between the Sultan of Sulu, Mohammed Jamal Al-Alam, and Baron de Overbeck and Alfred Dent as contract of lease, grant, and concession of North Borneo territories for an annual payment of $5,000. Later on, the British North Borneo Chartered Company surrendered its duties, and North Borneo became a British Crown colony on 10th of July 1946. Overbeck and Dent's version of the 1878 treaty stated that all the rights and power belong to me over all the territories and lands being tributary to us on the mainland and on the island of Borneo, in consideration of a yearly compensation of $5,000, together with all other powers and rights usually exercised by and belonging to sovereign rulers, and which we hereby delegate to him of our own free and sovereign will. Nevertheless, since the founding of the Federation of Malaysia in 1963, till this day, the Philippines has refused to recognize the possession of Sabah by Malaysia. The Philippines has maintained its contention that Overbeck and Dent only transferred the rights on the leasehold and not sovereignty over Sabah, since the transaction was a private one. But why are they opening this matter now? And another important reason is perhaps tens of thousands of Filipinos are living without proper documentation in Sabah. Hundreds were deported to the Philippines as COVID-19 spread in the state. Now, how do we conclude this matter? The Sabah dispute between Philippines and Malaysia remains unresolved until today because of the conflicting claims on the 1878 treaty between the Sultanate of Sulu and the British North Borneo Company, or the British government. It is not yet clear and no resolution till this day if needed Sabah was ceded to the British or not by the Sultan of Sulu, or if it was only leased to them. One thing is certain, Sabah was ceded to Malaysia together with Sarawak and Singapore by Great Britain to form the Federation of Malaysia in 1963. Thus, the Sabah conflict will continue to be a thorn in the side of bilateral relations between Malaysia and the Philippines until it is eventually resolved. As to when it will finally be settled is yet to be confirmed. Hence, the issue remains undetermined as it has been for so many years.
Our topic for today? Check out our latest videos and other cool stuff by subscribing to our channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to get the latest updates. Till our next video, ciao!